Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be talking about how you guys can get into drifting. Now I get asked this question a lot, like what cars, what tracks, what tyres do you use? There's so much to it, so I thought let's make a video explaining and then hopefully by the end of this you guys should have all the knowledge you need to go get a car, get out on track and have some fun. So let's start right from the beginning, and you may think, oh yeah, that's getting a car, but really I think first you should go for a drift experience or a drift lesson because they can really help you sort of feel out what it's like drifting, whether you enjoy it. So yeah, it's always good to get a little sense of what you're getting yourself into. So there's tracks all up and down the UK, as you can see on this map. Some of them just do drift days, some of them do experience days. But maybe if you have a friend who is a drifter, then you can jump in with them, do some passenger laps, and maybe they can do a bit of instruction for you. But yeah, it's always good to go for an experience first before you dive in and start spending money. So when you first start drifting, there's a bunch of cars that you can choose from. It literally depends how much money you want to spend. So you've got your BMWs, which is like the E36, the E46, and they come in loads of different variants with different engine sizes. You've got the compacts, you've got the tourings, convertibles even, and then there's the BMW E30, which is getting a little bit more expensive now, but that's what I started out in. And then there's the Lexus IS200, super cool car. There's the MX-5, but that's a little bit down on power. The 350Z, which you've all seen in Tokyo Drift and movies like that. And they're a little bit more expensive, but very cool. And then this is more exclusively to the USA. It's like the Mustang, the Corvette, the Fox body. And then you've got the Volvo 740 estate, which is also quite a good one, and maybe the Volvo 240. And also the Mazda RX-8, which is a bit of a risky one because it's got less power and it's also a rotary, which is unreliable. That's probably going to cause some commotion in the comments, but we'll see. So when you have your starter car, I'd suggest firstly looking into the car a lot. Make sure it's not going to fall to bits, and make sure it's mechanically sound. And then you probably want to weld the diff. That's going to make it really easy to drift because both the wheels on the rear are going to turn at the same time, which is super important. And what is also important is safety. So you're going to want to get a bucket seat so you're not rolling around around the car, and also a harness, which is also really useful so you don't go flying into your steering wheel, as well as wearing a helmet, which is mandatory on probably most tracks, and I think it's just better to be safe. And also what you're probably going to want to do is lower your suspension. So cutting the springs probably isn't the best way of doing that, but getting some nice lowering springs or some different shocks, which is going to lower the centre of gravity and make the car a lot easier to drift. And something that I really like using is the handbrake. So cable handbrakes are good, but if you get a hydraulic handbrake, it's going to be way easier to pull, and it's a really useful tool when you're drifting. And when you've done all that, if you want to go even further and start twinning with people, I definitely suggest getting a roll cage. It stiffens up the whole chassis of the car, and you feel a lot more safe in a car with a roll cage when you're drifting, because you know if you're going to hit a wall, chances are you're going to be quite safe. Now, it is a massive debate on what you do with your tyres. Now, lots of people like to get Part 1 tyres from garages that are not completely gone, but they're not really road legal or have just been taken off a car for some reason. Now, this works really well, apart from the fact that your tyres are actually going to be slightly different maybe, not got the same wear, you don't know how long they've been sat there, so sometimes they can feel a bit plasticky. Well, what I do is I found a really cheap budget road tyre that I can use, which isn't too expensive. They last longer than Part 1 tyres, and they're both exactly the same, which helps with consistency in the driving and makes the car feel the same every time, which is really key when you're learning. So a little side note on tyres, you may want to purchase your own tyre changing machine. Now these can be quite expensive, but if you add up all the times you've paid for your tyres to be swapped, it can add up to even more than a tyre machine. So it's more of an investment, and also it's way easier to turn up to a track with, I don't know, like 6 sets of wheels on tyres. You probably will want more than just a set of tyres on your car. We have, I think, about 8 other wheels, which is just really easy. So when I've gone back on track, you know, I can just drop some tyres off, they can be changed and I can pick them up on the way back into the pits and swap them onto the car. Also, there is two types of tyres that we use. There is road tyres and there's also semi-slicks. Now, semi-slick tyres are very fast, very grippy, and probably for your higher horsepower cars, whereas the road tyres are a bit slower, but they do make high power cars and low power cars really even, because you can only go as fast as your tyres have grip. So you've got your car, you've done an experience day, you really enjoyed it, and you want to start practicing. Now, you may think that, oh, something's wrong with the car, and yes, something might be wrong with the car, but lots of the time, seat time just fixes everything. Having time in that car, you can pretty much get over anything. If your handbrake doesn't work, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to keep on driving that day and learn to use less handbrake. So to get your car to an event, you can drive it if it's road legal, but I'd really suggest getting a trailer and a car to tow it with. This is because if you're at a track and you have a little collision, you don't want to be driving a wonky car home. But yeah, also sometimes your drift car may not be super fun to drive on the road. If you've taken out the sound deadening and lowered the suspension, it can be a bit of a pain. Now you might be thinking, what if my car breaks down? Because it is drifting at the end of the day, cars are not made to be sliding like that, so your car will break, that's a fact. But fortunately, here in the UK, our drifting community is really nice. I haven't actually done that much drifting abroad, but I'm sure it's exactly the same. If my car breaks down, it'll get like 10 people gather around, and they'll be like, oh, this is what you need to do, and they'll all like maybe donate parts or just help you out, help you get back on track or help you get home, which is super nice. But yeah, I've had it lots of times where my car's broken down, people have been like, oh yeah, I've got this spare engine mount or something like that, and they can help you get back out on track and carry on having fun. Another thing you may want to consider before you even go drifting might be a simulator. Now, I started drifting and then got a simulator, but it was only like 2 or 3 weeks after, and I think it really helped me. You can learn transition timing, how car setup affects the actual car and the characteristics of the way it drives, and loads of other things like that. And also, it's a load of fun. You can make new friends and you can practice your skills all at the same time. So another quick side note for the simulators, I've got this Logitech G29. I'll put the price up on the screen down there with the shifter, and that normally comes with pedals, but I've upgraded to some Thrustmaster pedals, and I'm also going to get a Thrustmaster wheel soon. But starting off on a Logitech is cheapest and the most cheap phone you can get, and all you need is a set of Corsa on the PC and you can download loads of different modifications and have some fun. Now, going into competition can be really scary, but if you start off in a grassroots series, once you've practiced doing twinning and stuff, and people will give you support, you can get the feel for what a competition's like. It doesn't have to be anything massive, it could literally just be a little battle between your friends, and it could go all the way up to international championships. Also, if you guys were wondering, we do have the new Max Drift merch that is super cool. I really like it. It's that nice sort of stretchy, sporty, relaxing fabric. It's got the new logo on, it's got the cancer research bar on the other side, and also the UK flag. And I really like these, and I can't wait until I see one of you guys wearing them. But yeah, all the profits go to cancer research. Also, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. I've got some gaming streams coming, and yes, I haven't made a video in ages because we've been on lockdown. I haven't been able to do any driving, which is super annoying, but we should be out of it soon and doing some driving, having some fun. One thing to keep in mind is that all builds are completely different. Like, I've got an old Japanese S chassis with a V8 in it, which some people might not like that I've got an American V8 in my old Japanese car. But build what is best for you, what you like, and to your style. Some people might not like that my car's bright pink. I think it looks awesome. We all have our own opinions, but yeah, it's super cool. Build what you want. Now, you may see stickers all over my car, like the massive EBC Brakes logo, and that is actually, well, people call it sponsorship, but I see more as working partners. And because I have a following on social media, and my car is out on track and on video loads, people want their logos and their brands represented by me and on their car. Now, this can be super useful with helping support the financial side of drifting, because it's not a super cheap thing to do. Now, even if you're just doing practice days, sponsors can be really useful in getting you parts and maybe even some money. Anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this video, please do hit the thumbs up button. It's good for your feedback. And also in the comments, if you have any more questions, I will answer them. My mission is to reply to every comment I normally do. But yeah, so I hope you guys do get into drifting because it's such an awesome game. And yeah, anyway guys, see you in the next one. Bye. It's super awesome, man. What's my dude? God damn it, man.